Hey, good afternoon. Russell Hotels going live just for a couple minutes. I hope all is well. Happy Monday or happy Moan Day, like some people would say. But it's already 12:30, so I'm sure you've gotten over that and everything's going well today at work or wherever you may be. Hey, this is Russell Hotels. I do this daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday live here on LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Facebook. So you guys see me, just say, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Something. You suck. Something. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I just want to make sure you're there, right? So let me just make sure I have the chat on so I can get all those great comments that you guys always make. I'm joking. Yes, you do. You do, and I appreciate that. So, real quick, I want to thank again. I did this last week, but just in case you forgot or you weren't tuning in last week, I want to thank the International Hospitality Institute for that distinction of one of the top 40 hospitality podcasts internationally. I do appreciate that. So, specifically, Dr. Jeffrey O, who is the president, CEO of that organization. So, thank you guys so much. Appreciate the the accolades and the just being noticed and appreciate it. And I do appreciate that. And once again, I appreciate the people that watch the show, that support me for all these 245 episodes that I've done on air with Russell of Hotels. Now, the daily check-in, that's different, right? This is something else. This is an additional show that I do. But on air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show that everyone's been talking about, that comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock PST. That means in California at 1 o'clock. Okay. So, and it comes on live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and X. So, if you haven't seen it before, you can go back to any of those platforms and see the replay on any one of the episodes. I don't think I have all 245. I got at least 150. So there's enough to keep you busy, right? So I don't think there's 100. I don't think there's 245 on there. But I mean, if you want the early ones, I can get the early ones on you because the early ones weren't even on video. The early ones were a podcast, a traditional podcast, right? So I started doing a live hospitality talk show probably about 100 shows in. Okay, so I did at least 90 just straight 100% podcasts where you didn't see me; it was just more audio. Okay, but then after that, we started incorporating like Facebook Live and all these different, platforms that started coming up, so you can do your show and show yourself and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so it kind of moved into this where we are now, kind of morphed from the podcast into a live hospitality talk show. So there you go. So once again, thank you guys so much, International Hospitality Institute, for that distinction. I do appreciate it. Daily check-in, it's not a long thing. I mean, I'll go over a couple of things, and it's going to tie into, doing a podcast. It's kind of going to tie into that. You'll see. Let me just get to that right now because, I got a lot of time, right? So I got about 15, 20 minutes for you guys. Today I'm showing the Westwood Look Hotel Resort in Tucson, Arizona. Why am I showing that, Russell? Weren't you there like last year? Yeah, I was there last year. But it's good when you go on some of these trade shows. That's what I was there for. A fam trip, to get familiarize yourself with the destination like Tucson, some of the hotels that Tucson has to offer. So it's always good when you have a group that's interested or maybe interested in a hotel that you've actually gone and taken a look at, right? So I have a group now, a client that asked me for hotels in Tucson. So, of course, my last experience in Tucson was at the Westwood Look. So they're on the top of my list, right? So I sent out the RFP, got the response back from this particular hotel. So I said, you know what? I have some photos and some video of this hotel, so I'm going to show it, right? Because I'm all about blowing up brands, okay? That's what I do, right? I'm a brand show off. So I'm like, hey, this is a good time to do this because I actually have potential piece of business for this hotel. So hopefully it works out. It's not about me, it's about the client, what the client's looking for. But my job is to make sure that hotels that I think will fit into their program or work for their program I mean, I make sure they're on the top of the list to get an RFP, and they in turn send me a proposal, and then I in turn send it to the client, and then the client basically looks at it, and kind of compares it to all the other hotels and say, hey, maybe the Westwood Look will work. We'll take a look. We'll take a look. The Westwood Look, we'll take a look. Anyway, that's how it works as a hotel site selection person. That's kind of how it works. So, and this is another view of this is their lobby area. Not an overly big hotel. I want to say it's about 300 or so rooms. Very nice, very quaint. Not over the top, anything like that. Kind of that desert motif, that desert scene, and that's the thing that I love about it. That it is a traditional kind of Tucson or Arizona type looking hotel / resort. There's a spa and everything. This is the front desk area. And then the topic for today is beginning a podcast or a live hospitality talk show. Be consistent. What does that mean? Why do you need to be consistent when you're doing these things? Well, I'm going to get into that, right? Because all this stuff leads to, or for me, it led to, the distinction and, being recognized by an organization like, International Hospitality Institute. Okay, so all these things led to that. I didn't go into this to get any awards or any accolades or anything like that. I just wanted people to see what I was talking about, or hear what I was talking about, or be a brand show off hotel brands and things like that. That was my whole thing. Have people come on and talk and discuss their experiences within the hospitality space. That was my whole goal for that. My goal is not to get awards and be recognized from that. Okay. But in order to even get to that point, there's certain things that you have to do, right? You got to be, well, I'm gonna go through these things. I think I have 6 things here. Be consistent is it, right? You have to be consistent. Why do you got to be consistent, Russell? Okay, what are the things, why do you need to be consistent to be considered a good podcast or something that's recognized? Okay, well, we're gonna get into that right now. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure I put my thing up here. Let me make sure I put my thing up here. Oh wow. You know what? I think my juice ran out on my iPad. No, I don't think it did. A while ago, right before I came on live, it said it was like at 3%. But I'm like, 3%? I mean, I got like 20 minutes to go, right? 3%. Obviously not. So let me look this up on my phone. So let me just position my phone where I can see it and I can read it. So be consistent is crucial when starting a podcast or a live talk show on social media for several different reasons. Number one, builds audience trust. Consistency establishes reliability and trust with your audience. When you consistently deliver valuable content on a regular basis, your audience knows what to expect from you and is more likely to tune in regularly. So yeah, you want people to tune in regularly, right? So you want people to tune in for On Air with Russell of Hotel that comes on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So you want to be consistent with the time because you want people to plan for it, right? Like, if I'm able to see it, I'm gonna check it out at 1 o'clock. If not, then I'll check it out on the replay. That's fine. The replay is great. It's just as good as the live, but some people want to be on live because sometimes they want to make comments and react and all that kind of stuff, which is great as well. I mean, either one works for me. I just want you to watch it, okay? Just want you to watch or listen. So that's what I want. But you have to you do this consistent because you want to build trust. Just like you watch your regular TV show on whatever channels that you watch or whatever show that happens to be. If it came on at different times, you'd be like, well, I can't even get into it because I don't even know what time it comes on. One Tuesday it came on at 9 in the morning, and the next one came on at 5 in the afternoon. Well, that's inconsistent. No one's going to watch anything that's inconsistent. So I started at 1 o'clock 245 episodes ago, and I'm still at 1 o'clock. Okay, so there you go. Now this daily check-in, it can come on at noon, 12:30. I've pushed it before, but it's based on my schedule for that day, right? So it's the daily check-in, right? But On Air with Russell of Hotel comes on at 1 o'clock California time, or PST, Pacific Standard Time. That's what PST stands for. So, okay. So builds audience trust is the number one. Number two is increases engagement. Increases engagement. Regularly scheduled content encourages audience engagement and interaction. Viewers know when to expect your show. They're more likely to plan to watch it live or listen to it later. Increasing overall engagement metrics like views, comments, and shares. Okay, so it increases those things. So if I come on at 1 o'clock, you're more likely to plan for it. Then you're gonna like it, and then because that increases everything. So if you like, make comments, things like that. That's why I asked you to make comments, right? First of all, I want people to come on and let me see that you're there. But two, it actually helps, when someone does make a comment, it helps it go to other people. Because what everything on social media does, it hits certain levels, or I call them buckets, right? So it hits certain not guidelines, but say a bucket of people. Okay, so it hit this one bucket. Maybe there's 10 people in that bucket. Now, depending on how those 10 people react to what they're seeing, if they like it and make comments or whatever, that determines if it's going to go to another bucket of people. Okay, a bigger bucket of people. And then if they start sharing it and liking it and making comments, then it hits a bigger one, right? So that's how the algorithms work when things go viral. Well, the first bucket determines what it's going to do. If the first bucket, it just craps out, your show craps out, or your content craps out, maybe only 2 people look at it, well, it's not gonna go to the masses. Okay, it's not gonna go viral like people say. So you want to make sure your content is compelling in the first couple seconds. Okay, and then from there, it determines if it's going to go anywhere else, right? So that's why engagement is important. Okay, so a lot of people don't realize that how things go viral versus something that doesn't go viral. It has to do with the buckets of people that see it. Okay, let's say I got 26,000 people that follow me or that are connected to me on LinkedIn. If I post something, that doesn't go to all 26,000. It has to hit certain levels or buckets of people based on what they do. The first initial people, that determines what it's going to do. You probably didn't know that, but now you know. See, that's what it's all about education, right? So there you go. So that's how that works. So the next one is improves brand recognition, and these are things that you're beginning a podcast or a talk show. Why should you be consistent? Okay, these are the reasons why you need to be consistent. The third one is improves brand recognition. Consistent branding and messaging across episodes help reinforce your brand identity and make your podcast or show more memorable. Over time, this leads to increased brand recognition and awareness among your target audience. Yeah, so you want to make sure people know within my target audience, which are hotel people that work in hotels, and then just regular people that plan meetings in hotels, are interested in hotels. Maybe they're even students, in a hotel, college or school of hospitality or whatever. So those are the people that I appeal to. But there's also people within that LinkedIn community that I appeal to them as well. I'm trying to reach those people as well, because you never know when they're going to need some of the services that I have or that I can, help people with. If that's planning a meeting for their company, their organization, it doesn't matter their individual needs or whatever. So those are people that I try to boost that visibility to. Okay. Let's see the next one, and that brand recognition. The next one is boost algorithmic visibility. I can't even talk today. Many social media platforms prioritize consistent content creators in their algorithms. Regularly posting or streaming content signals to algorithms that your content is relevant and valuable, potentially increasing its visibility and reach to a broader audience. So once again, get in those buckets, right? I think I kind of explained it. I got ahead of myself and I kind of explained that with certain buckets, and it potentially can go and reach a whole lot of people. but it starts with that first bucket, right? So based on what you ever seen how something will go viral that people in a fight on the street or whatever. So excitement and things like that, because in the first couple of seconds of that video, right, there's fighting, there's just a bunch of foolishness going on. Well, people like that, and those algorithms, it hits one bucket, and then if everybody likes this, it goes to the masses, right, and it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going until you got it went viral with 1 million people. Yeah, that's possible, but it had to do with that first 3 seconds, right? The fighting and all this, arguing, all that stuff. The algorithms love that stuff, right? So that's why things go viral. That's why a lot of things like violence and TNA and all that kind of stuff, that stuff tends to get more looks because people want to see what else. Oh, what else is going on here? Oh, okay, little TNA, little fight. Okay, I'm just telling you that's how it works, right? And you guys, just based on what I'm telling you, you can look on the internet and see that, okay, I mean, how many views did this thing get? And I guarantee you the stuff that's, more controversial, if that's, that's violence, if that's TNA, those are things going to get the most looks. There's no other way around it. It's just what it is. But look at the numbers that some of these things are getting. You're like, why is this getting that? And what are they talking about? They're not talking about anything, but they're either fighting or showing TNA. I'm not gonna do either one. so you ain't gotta worry about me doing either one. Okay, so if that means I don't get any likes or views or going viral, well then that's okay, because that's not my audience anyway. You got to remember, who is your audience, who you're trying to go after. Is it better to have? Is it quality or quantity? That's what you have to look at when you're doing social media. If you're doing these live shows or podcasts or whatever, what are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? So there you go. Those are things you need to do. But yeah, those are things that can boost the algorithm visibility. But that's not what we're going for. And I'm just letting you guys know that's how it works. The next one, establish authority. Consistently demonstrate your commitment and expertise in your niche or industry. Over time, as you consistently deliver valuable insights and information to your audience, you establish yourself as the authority figure, earning trust and credibility within your community. See, I would rather have that over all the other stuff I just talked about, the aforementioned things, the going viral because it's violence going on, or the TNA and all that stuff. No, establishes authority. Okay, people know who you are in the industry. They understand that. Okay, that's Russell Hotels. He talks about hotels. He's a brand show off. He does hotel site selection. He does hotel consulting. He does those things, right? He can help out my hotel. He can help me get more, more eyes on our hotel. I work at the Westward Look, and no one was looking at us until Russell started showing things on his platform about the Westward Look Hotel. Just using that as an example, okay? Don't get carried away. I'm just using that as an example. But that's basically how it works. And then from there, you establish an authority where they know you, they know what you're capable of doing based on your past history, right? So everything's based on what they've seen, what they've heard you've done before, okay? The last one is, what does that say? Facilities growth. Consistency is the key to long-term growth and success. By maintaining a regular content schedule, you create momentum, and momentum that can lead to increased followership, subscribers, and overall audience growth over time. So speaking of subscription and followers, if you happen to be looking on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, ding, and then because I need all the subscribers I can get, right? So I ain't afraid to ask, okay, and beg if I have to. But no, if you can hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate it. Bing. If you don't follow me on like LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and any of these other platforms, please feel free to do that as well. Just hit that little like button or hit that follow me after or connect with me or whatever. And don't worry, once you follow me, I'll follow you back, right? So it's not a one-way street with me. I definitely want to follow you just as much as I want you to follow me. So boom, there you go. So, in summary, consistency is essential for building a loyal audience, increasing engagement, growing your brand presence on social media. By committing to a regular content schedule and delivering high quality, relevant content consistently, you can maximize the impact of your podcast or live talk show and achieve your goals more effectively. So there you go. That's all I got today, right? That was pretty simple, pretty painless. But yeah, so I always go back to, okay, I mean, like I said, I thank everyone that watches me, that follows me, that's linked in with me, that makes comments on a consistent basis. I do appreciate that. But it all comes with consistency, and that consistency means hard work. That means, when the days you don't want to post, you still post. You don't want to, come up with some new content. You still got to do it, right? Weekends, it didn't matter. I'm still thinking about what content I'm going to do for Tuesday show on air with Russell of Hotels. I don't wait till the last minute to do these things. I'm always thinking about it, right? But it comes from a place of consistency, right? I've always been consistent with the show. I started this. You got to remember, I started this in 2019. And then when COVID hit in 2020, I still continued the show. I didn't stop because, hotels are closed and hotels are doing this, hotels are doing that, no one's staying. No, I kept talking about it because I knew eventually it was going to come back, right? So that was a good time to hone my skills and come up with content and all that kind of stuff. So no, I didn't stop during COVID. I continued to do it, even when COVID was here, and then when COVID left. I would give people, what was going on with hotels and what issues they were having and which hotels were closed and which ones were, people got furloughed and laid off and all that kind of stuff. Remember all that stuff? Yeah. So I was still doing that. But that all aids in, helping build, audience trust. That increases my engagement, improves brand recognition. People know, not everybody, but some people know who Russell of Hotels is. It boosts that algorithmic visibility. It establishes an authority, and it facilitates growth. So, I mean, all those things I can say definitely, yes, it did help when you just remain consistent. That's what it's all about, right? So if you're ever on the fence about, what, I'm thinking about doing the podcast, I don't know if anybody gonna listen to it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, you gotta be consistent, right? That's the key, right? Because I know many people that have started these things and they said, I'm not doing it anymore. Why aren't you doing it anymore? No one's listening. No one's this. Well, how long did you do it? Oh, I did a couple episodes. The average length of a podcast is six episodes, right? And that's when people get whatever, disenchanted, pissed off, mad because no one's following them or no one's paying attention to it, or they get some negative feedback, or people close to them say, oh, why are you doing that? Ain't nobody listening to that. I didn't heard it all, right? But you got to be consistent. You can't listen to people, okay? Because people are always gonna make noise, okay? So you have to be consistent. You have to continue to fight. That's what it is, right? You have to continue it. Like I said, I'm 245 shows into On Air with Russell of Hotels, but that doesn't count all the lives that I've done. That doesn't count the daily check-in that I do 4 times a week. You got 5 days a week at me. Okay, that doesn't count all those things as well, right? The times I've been on other people's show, some other offshoots of On Air with Russell of Hotels that I've started, right? Did you choose hospitality? Did hospitality choose you? I mean, those are all different segments that all started because of On Air with Russell of Hotels, right? So it's basically what I say, the sky's the limit. From if you can establish that one, podcast or live hospitality talk show or talk show that whatever you're trying to do, you can do offshoots of that all day long. That's what I did. So there you go. So that's it. I think that's all I got. Other than questions at all, feel free to reach out to me, russell@russellofhotels.com. That's the email, right? As you look at the desert scene at the Westwood Look in Tucson, and back to me, see that? mountains. I can't think of what those mountains are called. Tucson Mountains? I can't remember. No, they're not the Tucson Mountains. There's something. Um, but anyway, that's the backdrop. I love that desert scene. And those are Ocotillo right here. See these right here? That's Ocotillo. That's a saguaro cactus. That's Ocotillo right here as well. These are Ocotillos up here as well. So I think I knew that, huh? That's what happens when you grow up in the desert. Oh, did I tell you I'm from the desert? Yeah, I'm from the desert too. Not Tucson, but the Blythe Desert. Palo Verde Valley. Okay, it's desert as well. But that is it. If you guys have any comments at all, feel free to reach out to me, Russell at russellofhotels.com. I thank you guys so much. Happy Monday. Have a great week. And we'll be back tomorrow for On Air with Russell of Hotels. What time's it come on? 1 o'clock PST, live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Okay, so 4 different platforms all at the same time. That's another thing. People post content, but they only post content to one platform. Do one piece of content, but put it on multiple platforms. Why not? Get more bang for the buck. Okay? So that's what it's all about, right? Use that one piece of content that you've already developed, but utilize it on different platforms. Like I said, I do it up to 4. You can do it up to how many you want, but you need to do that. So don't just utilize one piece of content. Oh, did I mention this? My man Bruce Jordan, okay, wrote a book. He's the Michael Jordan of hotels, the Hotel Revenue Bible. Okay, he just sent me this copy the other day, right? He's got it over the weekend. So thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that. He even signed it. I'm like, what? Because I was like, did he sign this book? And then, because I didn't see it at first, right? So I started reading, but I was reading from the back to the front. Who does that, right? But yeah, he even signed it. There you go, Brother Bruce. And this is what he said, okay? Russell, thank you for being an inspiration to hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. The average can inspire thousands, but you can inspire millions. That's deep right there. That is deep right there. Thank you, Brother Bruce. I do appreciate that. If you're a hotel person, you're in charge of revenue management or revenue for your hotel, if that's a GM, if that's director of sales, if that's the revenue manager himself, front office, food and beverage, check it out. Bruce Jordan. Okay. There you go. You got it. That's all I got, right? So thank you so much, Bruce. I do appreciate that. And that's it. So you guys have a great day. Once again, tomorrow, 1 o'clock PST, I will be back on air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show everybody's been talking about. Until then, you guys have a great day, and I will see you then.